Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. For whatever reason, my entire PC just decided to die. But we are back, we're live, and have I missed anything? Oh, we haven't. Oh, forget anything. Forget anything just happened. Forget we had PC issues. We didn't have any issues. We're here on the track in Japan again. And if you look at the sky, it's a little bit cloudy. It's not too bad. It's only light cloud, I'd say. I wouldn't say it's overcast just yet, but we're definitely in a position where I think we're going to be seeing a dry race, ultimately. I don't think we're going to be seeing any rainfall, but it's dynamic. Remember, it can change at any opportunity. And now we just have McFreelick and Excited to ready up, and then we are good to go. I don't actually know exactly what happened. Everything just froze. There was no like error message. There was no, oh no, this is where problems start. No, we lost 2. I don't know if they're going to be able to get back in, but they might be able to get back in for the next Grand Prix if they should choose to do. But we still have 16 drivers because I think we're missing 13 and 8. Yeah. Everyone's gone for the medium compound tires though. On this track as well, I think you're probably going to have to. The soft tires do work quite well, but there are a lot of S's, so they will sort of fall apart more than you necessarily want to. So you are definitely going to need to go for those medium tires just to help get you around the track and all the way to the end of the race. Yeah, it's only 8 laps, but in F2 cars, it's a whole different beast. You know, the cars weigh so much more. They don't have as much sort of downforce as you would expect from the F1 cars, and the setups obviously make the huge difference when it comes to the way that these guys drive, because every car is the same performance. There's no difference in that respect at all. It's purely down to driver skill and car setup, which I think is perfect overall. It's just the situation you've got in now is, you know, the tires strategy, you can't really flex it too hard. But I mean, we'll see. Bottas currently obviously on pole with Piloto in P2. Marky Mark in P3 with Cryptic there in 4th. Max is obviously in 5th, as you can see. Beaker a little bit further down than I anticipated, but I was talking to him right before we got in here, and he did say he's not a big fan of the F2 cars, to put it nicely. He was finding it very frustrating how understeery they are in comparison to the F1s, but we'll be seeing at least 3 races from him today. And that'll be the 2 in the F2s and then 1 in the F1 cars. Oh, did I say mistake? Oh, was that Max? Oh, big mistake from Max. Just getting a little bit too excited on the accelerator, coming out spoon. He's going to have to wait for everybody to pass him if he wants to have an opportunity to go. Oh, he's out. Okay, well, that's the formation lap over for him. Only got a couple more to go. And then we'll be getting back underway. There we go then. Final few corners to go. The AI is now taken over. Bottas gang is coming up to the home straight. Now once we get back in, oh, there we go, they're back. Hopefully they got in just in time. If they manage to get in just in time, we might actually get to see them race in their positions. That would be brilliant. An 18-car grid for the F2 cars would be so exciting. I think my body's ready. I think I'm ready. Are you guys ready? Well, you're about to find out if you're not or not, because it's go time. All the cars on the grid. We have sadly lost the 2, but they should be able to take part in the next one. Lights are on, and it's go time here in Japan. A little bit of a delay there for Piloto to get away from the line. You can see Bottas gets a beautiful style. Lots of carnage further downfield. I think that's Ravenduk, who's already had wing damage. Yeah, right side has gone, so he's got no end plate. That means every left-hand turn. More collisions further upfield. Wookilim again involved in a couple of battles as well. Landers Milman's in there. Rexon's there. You got Ravenduk actually making his way up the field just a little bit. He's getting a place. Kai Bacchini trying to get involved too. He's actually still managed to keep his wing, but he's not yet out of this one. Keeping an eye further at the field as well. Anders Millman makes a mistake. Dennis is trying to go around the outside of him. Here comes Kai down the inside. Big mistake there. Gets a little bit too aggressive. There's a bit of contact that sent him facing sideways. Oh, another nudge there. That was Ravenduk just coming in. Kai's getting knocked down the field just a little bit, but he's still in this. He's not out yet. He's still got a lot to do. Still got a lot to prove And so has Dennis, who's managed to get the move done on Lando's Milkman, who's got severe damage on that right side. Endplate's gone. I think there's even a bit of the wing gone as well, so not good news for him. Marky Mark on the back of Piloto, who's still chasing Bottas Gang for the race lead. Cryptic in P4 as well. Really pretty close considering how the race started. Racing Rick on the back of Max, but that gap is starting to extend a fair bit. Where's you got Tortor? Here he is, coming up towards Spoon, looking for a move. Not gonna pull it off. He's got locked up on the left side. That's caused him to run a little bit deep, run a little bit too wide, and on the exit of the second part, foot planted, but Racing Rick has gone. He's just disappearing off into the sunset, and Shadows and Dust is catching him as well, looking for that position change. There's a bit of a gap forming further downfield. Ravenduck is outside of DRS range on Rexon, but he is having his own little battle for P13 down there currently. But nice clean start. Oh, big send there. That's Shadows and Dust getting sent on by Dennis, but it didn't work out for him. No contact, no damage. That was an opportunity that could have gone severely wrong, but it didn't, and that's the main thing. Race leader is about to be attacked. Here he comes. Piloto looking for a move there on Bottas Gang. There's a mistake from Kai. He's off in the wall. That's the bump on the home straight. Adam C right there in front of him as well. I think he had a similar situation. Just going back to the leader again. They didn't pass each other. Rexon and Lando's Milkman have done. Shadows and Dust is on the back of Tortor. Tortor's run deep. Here comes Shadows and Dust looking for a move. It's a difficult area to attack here if you can, but the inside is looking open. Tortor's shut the door. Shadows and Dust is definitely faster, but Tortor is just having a nightmare out there. He looks like he's just a bit too afraid to go on throttle. He's ran deep, ran wide. Here he comes around the outside over the first Deckner. Is he going to be able to hold this together as they come round? He's not. He's actually just lost a position as well. That's Rexon, not Rexon, sorry, Dennis, who's just flown on by. So he's now into P9. Tortor is in P8, still under attack from Dennis. And ultimately, I think that's pretty much it. Let's have a look now at the position changes. The position changes. Look at Dennis go. He's just getting another one. That's 10 places. Beaker making mistakes, falling down the order into P11. Dennis is really making work happen here into P7. I think Dennis has found his calling. Forget the F1 cars. Look at the F2s, because here he is into Spoon, looking to get a better exit than Tortor if he can. Oh, there's carnage. There's carnage. There's Cryptic. That's also, who's that? Marky Mark, I believe. And Kai has retired from the session. Cryptic trying to get back on track, and he's going to come across. Oh, I thought he was going to go into Wookie 11, but Wookie has kept himself out of this. Not really in trouble. He's looking for Marky Mark now. You got Dennis, who's going for Tortor. Tortor's ran deep. Dennis is running around the outside of the triangle. It's going to be a big send going sideways, 2x2. And we know how Noah's Ark liked it going. And we know how we like this race going. Tortor getting passed by Dennis now into P5. He is on a mission, but so is Piloto, hunting down for Bottas Gang. No position changes just yet. This is getting exciting. Again, they're still going side by side. I don't know how Tortor's managed to fend him off, but he's managed to keep himself in P5. Really good driving there from Tortor, but Dennis all over the rear of him. And look at this 5-car battle, so close between all 5 cars. I don't even think a second separates the whole 5. So this is bad. Tortor's just doing such a good job of defending. He's keeping everyone at bay, and Dennis has seen an opportunity. This time he's going for it. We saw what happened when Shadows and Dust did. In fact, Dennis was the one who benefited from it, and it's not looking like it's going to work out for him this time. He's going back at him. Oh, that was so close between the two. There was almost contact, but not any wing damage at all. Again, Tortor under threat. Is Dennis going to send it down the inside? Is he going to look for it? No, he's decided against it. There is an opportunity. There was definitely a car's whip there, but he's got a good line through. He's got a good exit. I think Tortor might have the benefit here by having the inside line, and it looks like he does. Shadows and Dust not quite benefiting either. I think Piloto might actually go for a move on Bottas Gang on this lap, because we are going to have DRS coming up. Here comes Dennis once more on Tortor in the exact same corner as last time. Needs to get the better exit. Has got such a close gap now. Surely there's no way Tortor can defend this. Dennis is coming. Going to go around the outside. They're going to go too wide into 130. And Dennis has ran so wide as a result. Tortor did the same thing last time, but this time Dennis is on the inside and locks up pretty hard. Since Tortor had to avoid him by going off wide, and still managed to secure the position, but he definitely gained some there. And it's a bit on the limit. He probably got a warning for that. I think he had to. Dennis is in trouble. He's got a DRS wing for Shadows and Dust behind him, and I don't think Tortor has DRS. I think he has, actually. I don't know how that happened, but here comes Shadows and Dust down the inside. Dennis gets the position lost. Whilst he's had such a good run so far, it's just not enough for him. Racing Rick on Max, running a little bit too wide. Not quite how he panned that one to work out. Still, I mean, this seems like it's the Dennis showreel. He is just in every battle, although Beaker is on the back of Rexon. Maybe get him if Rexon goes a bit too wide. No, he's not. Oh, Beaker's made a mistake. That is a big mistake. Just had a bit of a snap oversteer there, and yes, he caught it, but look how much time he's lost now. He's a full second out of the gap. Shadows and Dust on the back of Toto once more. And they come under the bridge, coming up towards the hairpin. How are we going to fare as we go around? It's going to stay like this for now. You got Dennis round the rear of him. He's actually giving him a good push around the track. That was very aggressive there from Dennis. Piloto for race lead on the back of him. Once more, we've seen this a few times. He's not actually had a pass yet. So there's still an opportunity for him to gain that position and gain some very, very valuable points. Look at him in the slipstream, trying to capitalize on it. There's no DRS down here, and you wouldn't want it because that corner is just so much. It's just so hard to pull off, especially when you've got no wing and no downforce. Bottasgang still holding the race lead though. Piloto needs the exit. Bottasgang has a wobble. This is an opportunity. Here he is now, wing open, slipstream being obtained. And look at him going for it down the inside now. This is going to be big for Piloto to get the race lead. We have another battle going on our hands. Dennis looking for Shadows and Dust. Look, they are so close to the pit wall. All four cars were right up there. Two of them come out wide, but Shadows and Dust can't, and Dennis has to go right around the outside in towards turn one. Toto's gone slow. Shadows and Dust is rotated. Dennis is pushing him along, and that's Shadows and Dust being rotated completely. That was very aggressive there. Just a bit too much. Dennis didn't want to back off the throttle because he didn't want to lose anything, but ultimately these cost that happening to Shadows and Dust. There's Lando's just getting past him as well, so not good stuff. Toto's really lost out. He's gone onto the grass. Coming through the S's, his tyres look like they're just completely dead. He hasn't got wing damage. He's just struggling. He doesn't have the pace. He doesn't have the confidence in the car, and you can see in the way that he's attacking the track, it just isn't working for him. Piloto is race leader, and actually look at the gap now. 7 tenths between Piloto and Bottasgang. That is now in a position where the only way that Bottasgang gets back in this is if he completely looks after his car and doesn't, throw the car around and burn the tyres away, but also use the DRS to push himself even further. Dennis on the back of Max now. Toto and Marky Mark having a good old scrapperoo. Marky Mark's trying to get on him. Max and Dennis coming out of spoon now. Max has made a mistake. Just spanned the rears a bit too much. We're going to see them coming in towards 130R. And if we see Dennis doing the same thing again, well, this time he takes the inside. Max surrendering the inside is not going to work out well for him because he's going to get forced wide here. Max goes right off the track as a result. And we know how that's panned out in the previous times. Max goes deep. Big lockup. Big contact. That's caused Max to rotate. More contact. That's not Toto. Who was that? That was Max just getting damaged, but he collided with someone. Was that Beaker? No, it's not Beaker. Who did he collide with to make that wing damage? Oh, it was Rexon. Rexon got caught up in all of that. Ravenduck and Toto. Toto's made more mistakes, falling down the order into P10. Ravenduck up in a P9. Really starting to look really solid, getting some points positions. Beaker on the back of Dennis. 4 tenths is the gap. That's going to have to stay like that for a little while. You got Shadows and Dust and Lando's Milkman also having a little battle. Shadows and Dust so bringing himself back into this a little bit. I'm not quite sure how he's going to... Oh, he's going for the inside. Look at this. Lando's Milkman's made a mistake. He's going to be on the outside here, though, and that's not going to work out for him. That's why he backs out, because he knows not really anything I could do here. Although P11 is still on the table. No points will be awarded for that position, but he can still get the bragging rights. And P10's only there. And that's a point, remember. That is a big deal. And you've seen how Toto's been struggling. Yeah, he's been defending like an absolute champion. But that still doesn't change anything when it comes to the way that he's chucking lap times in. If he's not getting good ones in, then it won't mean anything. Yellow flag ahead. That must have been... Who was that? It wasn't Ravenduck. Well, Toto, it might have been actually, because Toto's really closed in on him. He's got wing damage still as Ravenduck from the very first lap. He got that before we even got off the start line. That's just how messy that was. Bottasgang's brought himself back into this a little bit more. DRS is definitely helping him. We're on the second to last lap now, coming in towards turn 1. The skies are still pretty grey, but no signs of rain as of yet. Piloto doing a very good job to continue the lead here. Ravenduck losing time. Toto starting to feel like he's getting time. Back end steps out there. DRS wing wide open. Coming in a bit. Half a second is the gap. Not going to see any position changes from them two, but you are going to see a position change from Shadows and Dust and Lando's Milkman. Although Shadows and Dust has chosen the outside line, this is going to be tense. Oh, a big clash. That's Lando's Milkman getting rotated, but he's caught it. Really good catch there from Lando's Milkman, but his tyres are hot, and he felt it. That's why he had a snap oversteer, and I think ultimately the issue was there. Lando ran a little bit deep. Didn't want that to happen, but came into a turning in Shadows and Dust, and a rotation of the car was inevitable as race leader has changed. Piloto has made a mistake. Bottas gang has ran away with this. That was very sudden. Don't know where that came from, but you also see Max and Marky going side by side into the second Degner, and it's managed to work out well for Marky. Max is on the back of him, and he's not the kind of driver who will surrender that at all. He's going to take the outside through the hanger, locked up on the left side. Hairpin, sorry. And he looked for the cutback, didn't work out for him. Toto's got Rwagnation. Rwagnation has lost out twice there. He must have gone seriously wide in order for him to lose out. Max again on the back of Marky Mark, coming in towards the spoon. Double left-hander here. Marky Mark's ran just a touch deep. Max is getting very fired up, ready to go. He's looking to get the floor down early. There it is. He's on the back of him so early. There's a very solid chance Max might actually just claim this position from him. In towards 130R. Marky Mark's going to have to run wide. Oh, Max dips out. So that's good heads-up driving there from Max. But now he's going to have to take the outside into a very difficult complex. Look for the cutback, couldn't get it. Although Marky Mark's ran deep, coming into the final two corners. Remember the bumps there. This is the one that kills most drivers, and it's almost killed Max. He kept it together. He's got the DRS. They are now going to have a drag race right up towards turn one. This is going to be tense. This is going to be tight, but I think Max is going to get the position back. He's just got the extra drag reduction, from the wing being open. But look at Marky Mark coming back at him down the inside through turn two. Now he's stuck on the outside for three, and it's just such a windy section. He's got wing damage on the left side, so he's doing really well to be able to fight with Max, given the current car damage. But Max manages to recover that position. Really good overtake there from Max to hold it together throughout the entirety. And that battle started coming out of Spoon, remember? And we kept it all the way through in towards turn two before the position was finally cemented. But talking of cemented, it looks like Bottas gang has done everything he needed to be able to hold himself in race lead. He lost it for a period of time. Piloto made a big mistake, and Bottas gang looked in pretty hard. And Piloto, he's still got P2, still done really well for himself. But ultimately, Bottas gang, with the fact that he got the qualifying as well, remember, which is 4 points towards his Drivers' Championship here for the weekend. It will mean that he'll also get the additional 25 for winning here today. As we come through the final few corners, Bottas gang, round the last one. Watch out for the bump. Don't DNF there. That would be heartbreaking, but he will make it to the finish line, and he takes P1. Piloto taking P2, and it's a really good day here for the Campos Racing drivers. P2 and 3, so the double podium. Really good work from them. Dennis will cross the line and take 4th, with Beaker doing a very respectable P5. Rexon in P6. We'll come back around now, even though he had mega damage from, I believe that was Max. But he's across the line, takes P6. Max takes P7. Marky Mark takes P8. Shadows and Dust gets 9th, but jumps Marky Mark. I didn't see that Mark had a penalty, but he did apparently. And Toto managed to get the final point, but loses it as Lando's Milkman. He manages to slip in there and take that P10 away from them. So beautiful stuff from Lando's Milkman. Sad for Toto to be in that scenario, but Rwagnation struggling with that wing damage, struggling with the weight of the car. Bringing himself around the final corner now. Will take a very respectable P12. As Cryptic is coming around in 13th with Wookie Lemon. Made a mistake there on the final corner. Just got a little bit tail happy. Crosses the line. And that's the end of the feature race. So we'll keep a very firm eye locked on now for the driver's grid. Given the situation of the points that were just swapped around there. So at the end of the session, it's Bottas gang P1, 25 points in his back pocket. But Piloto, he gets the extra points for the fastest lap, which is 2 in F2 racing, and also gets P2. So nice 20 points there for him, but still Bottas gang doing very well to have not only the points lead overall for qualifying in pole position. So 29 points is where he sits, 9 points clear of Piloto in P2, Racing Rick in P3 with Dennis in P4. Beaker at P5, Wrexham P6, Max P7, Shadows and Dust P8, Marky Mark P9, and a final point going to Lando's Milkman. And it's all to play for, really, for the bottom half of the grid as you got Toltop P11, Raymond at P12, Cryptic P13, Wookie P14, Adam P15, and Kai, who sadly DNF'd from the session in P16. But it's not over yet. We still have another race to go for the F2 cars before we get underway with the F1 series. And the next one's going to be the sprint race. So this, I think, is 7 laps, not 8 laps here today. We shall see. We're just waiting for the drivers to advance, and then we can progress into the quick session. I wonder if we're going to see anyone go for the softs. I mean, thinking about it, obviously you're doing a lap less, and ultimately the tyres will be better if you can get the softs. It's just whether you can make the life of the tyre go that far. I think that they probably can, to be honest. I don't think it's going to be that difficult, but you know, who knows in these sorts of scenarios. We will have to wait and see. Appear to be having some advanced issues. Don't know why. Let me see if I can find out what is occurring. It's Nixana apparently that's still loading. Nixana also had issues in the loading for the first race. But now Nixana is also having issues for this race. So not fun times for him at all. Oh, yeah, he sadly left the session. So we are looking like we're not going to get Nixana back in this one, unfortunately. Oh, look at the skies. The skies are nice and sunny. That is beautiful. And I'm looking at the tyres. I can see just on the right-hand side, you've got a very bouncy car there. I'm seeing a lot of softs. I'm seeing a lot of softs and then maybe a couple of mediums in there. I'd be surprised if anyone does go for a medium tyre. Ultimately, you need to sort of just chuck your softs on and really push to the limit if you can. We will keep a very firm eye locked on it. Here we go then. The final formation lap of the F2 cars. Shadows and Dust is going to be leading us away. Bearing in mind he did have pole position because of that penalty that Mark had. He will stay P9, sadly. But Shadows and Dust taking pole now. So he has an opportunity to lead this race from the get-go, providing he gets a good start, doesn't make a mistake. He needs this. This is Shadows and Dust's time for redemption to bring himself further up the field. Obviously, the sprint session, you don't get anywhere near as... Well, I say anywhere near. You don't get as many points as in the feature race. So it's looking pretty good for Bottas Gang. But if Bottas Gang was to finish 9 points less than Piloto, then it will end as a tie. Piloto needs 10 points more than Bottas Gang if he wants to be able to win the Drivers' Championship for this weekend. Bear in mind, there's also an opportunity to get 2 extra points in the fastest lap scenario. So if Piloto can somehow pull it out and get a fastest lap and still finish with an additional 7 points, or 8 if he wants to take the win, then he could very easily do that. It has to be 8 points more than Bottas Gang. So if he finishes on race to win and Bottas Gang finishes with 10 points, then it's not going to work out for him. It's sad. Right, Max in P2. He's had some very ups and downs races, not just this weekend, but overall. I mean, if you look at it from all the previous F2 races, he's had a lot of good battles. I'm looking back at like Austria, where he was in race lead for a very long time, made a mistake on the very final lap, coming to the start of Sector 3, and that cost him the entire weekend. He could have had that, could have nabbed the whole thing, but nope, just made that too many mistakes, and that cost him. Coming around the final few corners then, for all the rest of the grid at least, and we are about to get underway with the sprint race. Beaker in P4, I mean, he did pretty well. I think he finished P5 overall. That's really good going there for Beaker to be in that situation. In the F2 cars, he's put 0 practice into it. He only really drives the F1 cars, and considering how much he was complaining before we started this, it's actually really quite surprising that he's been so successful overall. Just waiting for the final few drivers to get into their grid boxes, and then we will be starting off the final race of the F2 cars in Japan on this glorious sunny day. And there we go. Right, Shadows and Dust, have you got the minerals to be able to get away off the start and hold on to P1? Bearing in mind, Max has the inside. You can't afford to not have it. And away we go then. So let's see. Has he got it? He hasn't. He's bogged down. Max has just shot off like a bullet. Away he goes. Everyone else is tracking down, trying to get involved here. Baker's up to P2 as well. Look at the jump he's had. He's right there on the inside. There's going to be a lot of scrapping going on as Dennis is in there with Shadows and Dust. He's also up in a P3 now, so good stuff from him. A little bit of desync going on further downfield. As you can see, Piloto is trying to clear in places. Bottas gang is up in a P4, but has just lost out to Shadows and Dust. So whilst he's done that, I mean, it's still a really good jump for him to be able to pull that off. That's, you know, really exceptional work. But Beaker up 2 places, battling with Max for P2. Dennis in P3, looking for that move. It's just not going to pay off for you right now, so you're going to have to hang fire, hold on, as we've got mistakes being made further downfield. Lots of cars making a mistake. Rexon, oh, big crash everywhere. Marky Mark is off into the wall. Rexon's got damage. More collisions, more cars off into the wall as well. I believe that was Adam C. Kai's involved in there too. He's just had a nightmare of a weekend. Marky Mark has had issues. Raven Duck, sorry, he's had issues off into the wall. He goes same wall as Kai. Wookie Lemon coming back on track. Somehow Raven Duck has kept his wing intact, it looks like. Nixana is... oh, they're both out of this Grand Prix. Dennis, though, fighting with Beaker for P2. This is important if they want to get really good finishing positions for the weekend. Beaker actually closing in on Max here. He could go for a pass. He actually had to lift because of how hard it is to go around the outside or the inside in towards 130R without causing a collision. But then you got Dennis hot on your heels, breathing down your gearbox, looking for an opportunity through the final corner. And if you don't get a good exit there for Beaker, oh, that wobble will have saved Beaker pretty hard. You also got Lando's Milkman battling with Piloto, who lost out pretty drastically there. Cryptic up there as well on the back of Rexon. Look how close he is, but we need to go back to the battle for P1, 2 and 3. They're not changing. They're staying as they are. But we need to look at Lando's Milkman, who's battling with Tortor. Tortor's on the inside. He's managed to capitalise. Get himself up 4 places, recovering from the disaster he had in the last race. Rexon in P9. He's down 6 places, given where he started. Piloto's down 4. The biggest winner so far appears to be Tortor, up 4 places into 7th. And then you got Bottas going up 3, and then you got 3 for Cryptic as well. Kai's up 4, so he's done well. Given the situation he just had where he completely lost it, I think he's got wing damage. Yeah, he does. Right side is in bits, so he's struggling. You can see, off track, sadly. Beaker's gone defensive, protecting himself from Dennis. See, Beaker's got a masterclass when it comes to attacking and defending. He's somehow managed to figure out all the lines you need in order to attack and defend at the same time. This is getting a little bit high. Beaker. Max just backed off. I don't know why he's just suddenly backed off, but he has. Sent Dennis on the outside. Coming round through Spoon. Max has been caught up in it. He's caught the car, but that was a very risky move there for Max. I think he intentionally let them by, but it's actually bit him in the backside a little bit now as Dennis is on the back of Beaker looking for the slipstream overtake. I don't think he's going to be able to get the move done in towards the final few corners. It's going to be a crucial one if he can, but no, he realizes no. Oh, Beaker locks up pretty hard there. Might have even got a warning for cutting that corner a little bit. I mean, I think for the most part, he had the 2 left tyres on the track. No DRS here. It's only just now been enabled. Position changes. Lots of scrapping going on. Look at this. Tortor, Lando going side by side in towards turn 1. Lando's Movement will have the inside. There's also battling going on behind as well. You've got Rexon. Look at them coming round now. Tortor's lost out pretty drastically. Here comes Rexon looking for the inside line. It's not going to work out for him, at least just yet. We have got the S's coming up. And this is going to be an opportunity if one of them runs wide, like Lando's just done there. He made a bit of a mistake. This is Rexon just sort of scoping it out, looking, and Cryptic's there as well, trying to capitalise. He's seen an opportunity, but it's not working out for him, at least as it stands. And no, Toto wobbles and so does Cryptic. Oh, big crash into the wall. Cryptic is out of this Grand Prix. That was a huge incident. I think we might even need to check in with him in real life just to make sure he's actually okay, because that was enormous. But Dennis now on the back of race leader. He has been hunting him for quite a while, but there's not been a change. But a big wobble like that will cause you to fall down the order a little bit, at least in terms of time. Keep an eye out to see if he can break that gap even further down. It's only hovering around about 4/10, which is great stuff. I mean, if it was F1 territory, you'd be like, this is about to be an overtake. But in F2s, it's a bit different. 4/10 is around about 5/6 in F1 territory. So keep an eye on how they perform when we come through. Ideally, he needs to be about 3/10 gap between him and Beaker when we get out of the final corner. But look at him running wide. That might have given him a warning. Can't afford to be having them happen. Lock up massive on the right side there for Dennis. Hopefully his tyres aren't too hot as a result. Max is getting closed in by Bottas gang. Dennis has done enough to get the gap down to 3/10. He's also done enough to get the wing open, and he's closing in. Beaker's in trouble. He knows it. Beaker's gone defensive down the inside. Now he's going to see Dennis trying to get the cut back. He's gone for the inside, but it's not worked out for him. He had a fair bit of a wobble. You've also got Bottas gang, who's been sent wide. Max has still managed to hold on to P3. Shadows and Dust and Race and Rick staying where they are as well. You got Piloto and Rexon. They're pretty close. Piloto not having the best weekend today. I never thought I'd say that in one sentence. Adam C down in P14, trying to work a way towards getting onto Ravenduck, but it's just way too far back. I think that his race is pretty much donezo, whereas Toto's race is not over. He's still got an opportunity if he can form it, but Piloto is going to try and pull away from him if he can. It's a very tough area to do an attack there through the S's. We're realistically looking to see if he's going to send it into the hairpin, which he can do. It's just it's very hard to get the car slowed down enough, and he knows it, which is why he's not tried it. He's going to stay like that, at least for now, unless Rexon makes a mistake, which he doesn't. But then we need to go back up to the front runners, Beaker and Dennis. Beaker's leading this race, with Dennis hunting him down. Beaker has an opportunity here. Oh, big wobble. Dennis now knows what he needs to do. He's seeing the opportunity form right in front of his eyes. Max is DNF'd. Let's see if we can catch where that is. It's the same place he did on the formation lap. Big crash there for Max. He's no longer able to continue, but Dennis working his way into the back of Beaker. That's a back runner there. I believe that is Adam. Dennis got his... Look how close he is. This is an opportunity. Beaker might have just looked in. No, he hasn't. No DRS wing for him, but he will have the slipstream. This will make it harder for Dennis. He needs to somehow break that gap down even further than before. Beaker's in trouble. He's moved a little bit, but now comes Dennis round the outside into our turn one. Is locked up a little bit. Made a mistake. Got a little bit out of shape there, and you can see how close it is between them. And no changes, at least just yet, but Beaker defended that very well. So has Racing Rick to keep Shadows and Dust behind. You can see Rexon and Piloto. That's Adam C off into the wall on the right side. We've lost a lot of drivers very suddenly. Marky Mark, Cryptic, Adam, Wookie and Max are all out of this Grand Prix. Kai's still in it in P10, so we're going to get a point out of this if he can cross the line in that position. But the battle for P1 still remains. First Egner, second Egner. Who's going to get a better exit? Might get a send it there if Dennis can get a good run in towards the hairpin. He might go for the move. I think it'd be very ambitious. No, he's decided against that too. Go around the outside. Big wobble, big wobble. It gave him worse. He's on the grass as well. That's his race lead. Just been destroyed, and Bottas gang is looking for that P2 opportunity now in towards the spoon. Dennis just trying to get the power down, trying to claim something. Just cost himself so much more. And we are on the final lap now, remember. So this is an opportunity for Bottas gang to get even more points. Not that Piloto can pull this back because he's just too far down the order. As it stands, Bottas gang will be your overall winner, I believe. I think Beaker's gap is just a bit too much. He finished P5, unless he's got fastest lap, which I don't think he does. Bottas gang's got that as well. See, this is pretty much donezo now, as long as Bottas gang crosses the line. First of all, though, Beaker will come to it, and he will take the win. Dennis taking P2, with Bottas gang in P3. Racing Rick taking 4th, Shadows and Dust taking 5th. Lando's Milkman will cross the line and take 6th, but he jumps up again. That's twice he's done that, this time for P5 as Piloto finishes in P7. Rexon takes 8th, Toto takes 9th, and you will see Kai eventually come to the line. A few corners to go, bit of a lock up there. That wing damage is really hurting him. He might get a penalty there, but he's got a big gap to Raven Duck, who's just there actually. It's not as big as I thought, it's still big enough. Sky will cross the line, take P10. Raven Duck then will cross the line and take P11. That was a good one. That was very spicy. That's what I like to see. Now let's see who wins overall then. I'm pretty sure we already know, but let's go and just confirm. So at the end of that Grand Prix, Beaker takes the win. 15 points to his name. Dennis and Bottas Gang both gain 12 because Bottas Gang gets the extra 2 points. But look how close it is in terms of the fastest laps. It was a 1:42.900 for Bottas Gang. And it's the next fastest is Beaker with a 1:42.932. So it's very close. But when it comes to the final results, it's going to be Bottas Gang who takes the weekend overall with a big lead. 41 points is where he has finished overall. Mainly getting that fastest lap in the second race, and the qualifying helped him even more so, but he already would have cemented that even without. As Beaker finishes in P2, 25 points for him, and then you look how close they are after that. 24 points for Dennis, 23 points for Racing Rick, then Piloto in 5th place with 22 points, and then the gap really starts to show, as you got Rex in there in P6, Shadows and Dust in P7, Lando's Millman in P8, Max in P9, Marky Mark in P10, and Todd finishes outside of points, sadly, on both occasions. There's Kai there in P12, Ravenduck P13, Wookie in P14, Adam in P15, and Cryptic in P16. Well, that's it for the F2 cars, but don't go anywhere because very shortly we'll be getting underway with the F1 cars, so stay tuned. We'll see you shortly.